How's it going, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got with me the TIEM shoes. These are the Slipstream model with the white marble color. The model number is 100007W. Now these belong to a friend of mine that is female with a very small foot. This is a size 7.5 US or 38.5 Europe size. So let's go ahead and get right into this unboxing, and also show you guys how to install your cleats. Now for the cleats, I recommended that you get authentic Shimano cleats. There are some other brands out there, this is the one straight from Asia, that are pretty decent, but I've always had really great luck with Shimano branded cleats that have outlasted shoes. They've outlasted bikes. In fact, I still have my original cleats that I started with probably a good 20 years ago, and they're still running strong. So I recommend that you get these, only because she does spin cycle classes typically 3 to 5 times a week, so definitely going to be coming in handy for durability purposes. All right, so let's go ahead and open this box. All right, so here is the shoe itself. Again, this is a pretty small 7.5 women's size, but you can see here with the marbling color along the bottom. Other than that, the majority of it is pure white. Now you do get a little bit of breathable mesh here up on the front toe box area. Other than that, it's pretty limited as far as breathability goes. Let's go ahead and take this pad out really quick. So I can see that there's a little bit of mesh right here on the side, probably about in the midfoot area, but other than that, the inner side and then the heel, it's multiple layers of fabric, and probably not a whole lot of breathability there, but it will last you a long time, which is good. Now the inner sole on these is pretty basic. It's probably similar to what you would find in like a typical sneaker, maybe like a cross trainer or a running shoe. It's pretty thin, flimsy, not a whole lot of arch support. It's pretty flat all throughout. It's not like there's more padding on the heel or in the midfoot or in the toe box. It's all flat. That's probably about a 3 to 4 millimeter thickness of foam there. But it's really not uncommon for cyclists to switch out their insoles to something of their preference, whether they need some padding on their heel, the midfoot, arch support, and things like that. So this should suit the majority of people, but if you're the type that needs a little bit more arch support, you will have to get something a little bit different than this. And that's what it looks like on the inside there. Not a whole lot to it. Now the fastening method here is just one simple elastic strap. It's Velcro, as you can see there. And you loosen it, slips on basically like a sock, and then you tighten it up to your foot as needed. Now it does give you a nice midfoot compression, but as far as having a lot of compression in the front or up here near the ankle, you really don't get too much support. If that's what you require, you might be better off with something of either a 2 or 3 strap system, or even the ratcheting system that has a lot of different wires going back and forth from front to back. And a nice little pull strap here at the back of the shoe. Other than that, you do get a nice rubber bottom there. And the key selling point of these is that they're made for cycling, spinning classes, as well as general CrossFit and things like that. If you're lifting and cycling back and forth and you don't really want to change out your shoes, this is kind of a one-size-fits-all kind of shoe for that. Now talking about the stiffness of the shoe, as you can see there is a little bit of flex to these. Again, that's just to aid in walking, not so much on the cycling side, but to be kind of a happy medium between both. Now to make a great cycling shoe, you really don't want very much flex at all, only because the amount of flex you have there, that's just how much more your foot is going to have to support using the muscles in your foot and your ankle and things like that. There is where your cleat attachment point is. As you can see here, it's specifically a 2-bolt system. Now if you have a Peloton, you're going to be using these cleats right here, which is a Delta cleat. And as you can see here, it's a 3-bolt system. So there's no way of attaching it to these shoes here. And then another 3-bolt system is right here. These are my road shoes, so they're a little bit beat up, but you can see here it attaches with 3 bolts, and this is what's called an SPD SL. So Shimano actually makes 2 different cleat systems. So the SPD SL, which is specifically for road biking typically. I've rarely seen these on indoor spin bikes, and the majority of spin bikes will use these, which is the SPD. Again, SPD SL, SPD. All right, so with the cleats here, they do come with the cleats, a little bit of an adapter, and then 2 bolts. You will need a separate Allen wrench, so I've got my Allen set here, And let's go ahead and unbox these and install these onto the shoes. Alright, so inside the box you will see a white envelope that contains all your parts here. So you will get the cleat itself. It's a little adapter, little metal piece with the 2 holes for the bolts. And then 2 bolts for each side. So let's go ahead and start with one of these shoes. So there's a ton of different alignments that you can do. It's not like you just bolt it on, you're set to go. You really need to find out where the ball of your foot lands. So I kind of pre-measured her foot ahead of time, but basically her ball of her foot lands right in the middle of these adjustment points. So she's got kind of longer toes, so the ball of her foot lands like right about here. If you have shorter toes, you want to move it up. If you have longer toes, you're going to move it back. And basically, you want the center of this to land right on that ball of your foot, right in line with kind of the bones of your feet. And that's just to give you the optimal performance and power and balance, things like that. You also have alignment in and out. So if you have like narrower hips, you want your foot in, which is what I typically do. If you have wider hips, you want your foot outward, just if you have a wider stance, period. And then you can also play with the angle of your foot. So if you're kind of pigeon-toed, you want it like that, vice versa. Typically you want your feet straight up and down. That's what you would shoot for. But other than that, let's go ahead and install these cleats. So with each cleat, there's a front and a back. So there's a little arrow right at the top of that. And that's to denote the front of the cleat. And then the back has more of that square edge on the bottom. So the orientation, of course, you want front to back. Again, I'm putting this right in the middle of that adjustment. You want your adapter plate, and these are recessed for those bolts, so make sure you oriented that properly. And then go ahead and thread in the 2 bolts by hand. So here's the cleat loosely on there, and as you can see, you can move it up, down, left, right, you can angle it. So I'm actually going to eyeball this for now and kind of get it to where I want it. And then she's actually going to come over, try out one of my spin bikes, and we're going to do a test fit and probably do a little bit of adjustment. So I'm going to do this right in the middle. I'm going to angle it inward a little bit. Do probably middle orientation, left and right. Something like that should be good. And I'm just pretty much tightening these down just so they don't move on her when she clips in and out. But I'm sure I'm going to be moving these a little bit more tomorrow. So there's the first installed cleat. That's what it should look like. Again, that arrow points forward towards the front of your shoe and the front of the bike. Square edge is on the bottom. So I'm basically eyeballing it with the other shoe, just trying to create a mirror image of what I've got with that side. Okay, that looks pretty good. So just to show you what I'm working with, that's what I ended up right there. And again, this is more of just a trial run just to get it started, just for it to clip in the first time, see if we need to make any adjustments inward, outward, front and back, also the angle, rotation wise, and we'll go from there. Alright, so now with the SPD cleats installed, she's ready to clip in, pedal properly, and get a full 360-degree pedal rotation, which is going to be awesome. She's going to be able to utilize all her muscle groups, not just quads or calves. She's going to be able to really utilize those hamstrings and glutes and things like that. And pedal properly, get better performance, get a better workout, and also get better output in general. Alright you guys, so that was my quick first look and demonstration of how to install the SPD cleat on the TIEM shoes. Thanks so much for watching. If you guys found this helpful, please consider hitting that subscribe button, like, comment as usual, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.